Good day, everyone. I hope you're all doing well on this Monday morning, May the 20th. Making this video from Ontario, Canada. And it's cold and horrible again. We're in the warmer part of the day. It's almost dinner time or lunchtime and 11 degrees. So they're messing with the weather. That's for sure. So I'm going to kind of talk about who actually, I'm not going to talk in regards to the weather, but where did all this evil come from? And where did it start? Well, it started too far back to even know, to be honest. But there are some groups that you've probably never heard of. Basically, the whole world has been designed to screw you over. Okay, nothing's by chance. No processes we have in this world, no systems, none of it was by chance. And they just sort of figured it out as they went. No, they had a plan for everything right from the start. And it was to put them at an advantage over everyone else. Okay, that's just how it is. Certain people hold all the cards, and always have. And above them, I firmly believe there's something not human. There's something that's totally not human. There has to be. Because humans are not capable of everything that's happened on this earth. There's no way humans are. So something else has been involved in a lot of it. But I'm going to talk about a couple of groups that you probably never heard of. One of them still exists to this day, and that is called the Fabian Society. The Fabian Society was founded in 1884, so it's been around a long time. It is still going right now. And they're socialists. They're basically communists. They call themselves socialists, but yeah, you can call them communists. You could actually say they're quite fascist, actually. And, of course, they're made up of the rich, privileged elite who have access to things you don't have access to, who have resources that you can't even dream of, who have been to the best schools and had the best libraries at their disposal all the time, things that you're not even allowed to see. They literally hide this stuff from us because that's how they maintain their two-tier society. Keep us dumb, keep them really, really well-educated and well-informed, and everything just falls into place from there. So the Fabian Society, one of the things that should warn you that this isn't good, it's not a good society. Some people rah the Fabians, they're crazy. If they had any sense of self-preservation, they wouldn't be cheering for these people. Their original coat of arms is literally a wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what the coat of arms shows. Okay, it's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Do I need to say any more about these people? That's exactly what they are. Planned Parenthood sort of comes from this same bunch. Okay, that's who they are. They've been around a long time. In the 1930s, there's pictures of these people from the Fabian Society with cell phones in the 30s, and I'm not kidding. There's a whole bunch of pictures of that. And another machine, something that wasn't invented apparently till the 80s or 90s, but they had one back in the 30s. They had the identical thing, which isn't surprising because people who have had a look at that sort of world have told us that the technology is 100 to 200 years ahead of what we actually get to see. They hide it from us. This is what I'm saying about, these libraries and things they have access to that you don't. This is how they do it. The technology too. They don't make new technology and say, "Oh, I can't wait to show this to the world." No. We made new technology. Let's think about what we can do to everybody with this without their knowledge. That's more how it goes. Okay, so Fabian Society, evil, secretive. It's considered a secret society, totally communist and fascist. And it's just more elite, privileged people, okay? It's the same thing again. Then we have another group. If you're wondering where all this trans stuff and, all this LGTB, ABC, CIA stuff comes from a group called the Bloomsbury Group. Now, this was in the early 20th century, so like I don't know what the actual year was, but early 1900s, this group began. They met at each other's mansions weekly or bi-weekly or whatever. These are the richest, most elite university students, basically. University students and recent graduates of university, artists, playwrights, authors, poets, musicians, the rich, the cream of the crop, the people who had, again, access to the best of everything, the Ivy League schools, the libraries that you're not even allowed to walk into. You're not even allowed to read the books in there because you're not worthy, right? Those people. And they had they call them the free-spirited ones sometimes, because they didn't like rules. And now mind you, that I don't like rules either, but some are necessary. Like, you can't molest kids. That's a rule, right? They'd say that one's, that's negotiable. No, it's not. But they would say it is. They had very liberal attitudes. Progressive attitudes, actually, is how they're described. Think about that, progressive. This is the beginning of the progressive movement, the Bloomsbury Group. They had very progressive attitudes towards sexuality, gender, pedophilia, stuff like that. They had a total free attitude towards all that stuff. If you wanted to be a woman, but you're actually a man, they were cool with that. This is where it all comes from. The Bloomsbury Group. Them and the Fabian Society had enough resources, influence, stature, and intelligence, because these aren't dummies. I mean, they're crazy, but most really highly intelligent people are. That's the way it is. They had the ability to mold the world in different ways. Like, it would take them a couple years to accomplish a goal, but they could pretty much mold the world any way they wanted to. And these two groups did. And the Fabian Society, as I say, still exists now. It's still going, and very closely connected with like the Planned Parenthood people, and because that's what they are too. That's the same thing. They just have that's a specific arm of this bunch of people. That the Planned Parenthood bunch focuses on population control, eugenics, things that they have no. They've decided that their ideas are perfect for the world, and everybody's just going to have to go with them because they say so, right? That's what they've decided. They're a teensy-weensy little portion of the world. They make up not even near 1% of the world. This is a little tiny group, okay? They're insignificant number-wise. But they consider themselves the only ones intelligent enough to make these decisions for the world. This is where the World Economic Forum was born from, and all these things. It's originally the Fabian Society and the Bloomsbury Group. This is where this trouble all began. Now, I'm going to just mention a little bit more here. There's a place called DARPA. DARPA stands for I gotta look that up because I want to get this right here. DARPA stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. Okay, it's a U.S. government agency within the Department of Defense responsible for developing emerging technologies for military applications. Well, yeah, they probably do that too. But they are basically the same kind of thing as the Fabian Society and the Bloomsbury Group in the way, well, they're basically like another CIA, which is mostly against its own people and Western society in general. They blame Western society for everything, and they're trying to mold the world in a different way. And the people that make these decisions, they're not going to have to follow the rules they make, okay? So if I decided the world should all be under Sharia law and people should have no rights at all, they're not allowed to grow food, they're not allowed to do anything, they have to eat what we give them, do what we tell them, that sounds like a shitty existence, right? Well, if you're one of the people making the rules and you're not going to be one of those, you're going to be in power instead, you're going to be the one telling them, then you're fine with it. Okay? That's what we have with these organizations. These people that come up with this stuff, it doesn't apply to them. So that's how they can be so cruel, callous, and miserable to everyone in the world, because it doesn't apply to them. They're above it. It's the two-tier thing, right? DARPA is our biggest worry. DARPA is what made Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. That's where it all come from. People think Mark Zuckerberg made Facebook. Nope, he didn't make it. He's the face they put on it and told this story about how he made it in his dorm room and all this bullshit. Make it sound like a real nice, endearing story. Everybody likes Mark Zuckerberg. No. DARPA and the CIA together, with the military, the U.S. military, they made Facebook. Facebook is a surveillance and social engineering tool. Nothing else. That's what it is. It's to keep an eye on everybody, okay? DARPA is the worst danger to humanity that exists. And it takes a lot of its advice from like the Fabian Society, and these things all still exist. The Bloomsbury Group probably does in some form somewhere. These people probably still meet to this day. They're different people now, different generation. But Aldous Huxley was one of them, one of the Bloomsbury Group. But now with Aldous Huxley, I think he actually was kind of a good guy and wanted to alert the world to what was going on, because he spilled the beans on a lot of stuff to us that he wasn't supposed to tell us, and he did anyway. He thought we needed to know. So Aldous, I'm actually kind of a fan of his writings and stuff. He wanted to see a lot of these things implemented in a kind way, and he wanted to see humanity still be happy and content. So I don't hold it against Aldous Huxley, but he was one of the Bloomsbury Group. He was part of that. So I'll leave it at that. Very interesting. If you want to know more about the Fabians, Truthstream Media on YouTube did maybe 2 years ago or so, did a really, really good documentary on the Fabian Socialists. So if you just type in Truthstream as one word, Truthstream Media, and the Fabian Socialists, you'll definitely find this documentary. It's really good. And he goes right into, I think that's where I saw a lot of the pictures of them with the technology in the 30s. Cell phones, and they had it all, man. They've been hiding this stuff from us for a very long time. So, and the Bloomsbury Group, that's where all this crazy trans garbage comes from. That's them nuts. They didn't like society the way it was. I don't either. But their idea of transforming it is nuts. They're just overprivileged assholes, is what they were. And we're still, to this day, suffering from the ideas that they had when they gathered together in each other's houses every couple of weeks or however often they did it. Disgusting, these groups were and are. If the Bloomsbury group still exists, it probably does. Fabian Society definitely does. Wolf in sheep's clothing, that's the coat of arms. So, yeah, that's probably two groups that you've probably never heard of and are still affecting your life right now today.